Welcome back, everybody. Cibola grad Kevin Gastelum was once considered one of the best UFC middleweight fighters in the world. The 29-year-old found himself on the UFC Las Vegas 24 card as the main event this weekend versus former middleweight champion Robert Whittaker. To Las Vegas, Gastelum coming off a unanimous decision win in his last fight on February 13th. He faced Robert Whittaker, who is eyeing another title shot and ranked number 2 in the world currently. Gastelum would hold his own versus Whittaker. Gastelum was replacing Paulo Costa, Whittaker's original opponent, who had to pull out due to lingering effects of COVID-19. Now, Whittaker, coming in, had won 11 of his past 12 fights. Gastelum had lost 3 of his past 4. Whittaker would defeat Gastelum by a one-sided unanimous decision in the main event of UFC Fight Night in Las Vegas. Afterwards, Whittaker had nothing but praise for Gastelum.
Obviously, this was a very hard fight. I think a lot of people were selling Kelvin short because of where he's ranked, and he's had a bit of a spill, but I think he's one of the best fighters in the division, and that was a tough fight.
Very high praise indeed. Now, 2 years after Corey Semler left the Gila Ridge head football coaching seat, John Algood took over the program and elevated its status even further, taking the Hawks to its first state semifinal in 2019. Well, last week, Algood officially took a position with Yuma High School as an assistant principal. Now, even though he says it was a difficult decision to make, Algood couldn't pass up the opportunity to jump into an administration role. Algood told 13 CBS Sports earlier today more about his decision and what he hopes to see from the next head coach of the Hawks football team.
I'm really excited to get in there, work at Yuma High. Yuma High has so much tradition. You know, it's the oldest school in YUHSD. So being able to be a criminal, be part of that history and add on to it and help out in any way, shape, or form is really what I'm looking to do. For me, it's getting someone that really cares about the athlete as a whole and not just about the game of football. It's someone that's going to care about creating better people and have a vision for this program that's going to continue to move athletes and everybody that's involved with it forward.
In his second and final season with Gila Ridge, Algood led the Hawks to an unbeaten record in the condensed YUHSD season last fall. He isn't ruling out any further involvement in athletics. To prep baseball, to Cibola High School with a nice crowd on hand watching the Raiders and San Luis Sidewinders. We go to the top of the fifth inning. San Luis up 13-2. Sophomore Ernesto Ochoa at the plate with 2 on. Ochoa will slap this pitch to deep right field, and it's going to roll all the way to the fence. 2 runners come home to score, and Ochoa motors all the way into third with a 2-run triple. Sidewinders up 15-2. Next batter is sophomore Yasser Armenta, and he cranks this pitch past the diving shortstop. Ochoa scores, and San Luis is up 16-2. Plenty of run support for sophomore pitcher Arath Zabalza heading into the bottom of the 5th. Cibola not going down without a fight. 2 on, 1 out. Junior Salvador Herrera smashes this pitch to left field into the corner. 1 run will score, and the Raiders now down, and they have runners on second and third. Senior Jake Lofton now at the plate, and he's going to get a pitch that's going to get away from the catcher, allowing Joshua Villalobos to come home to score. It would be too little too late for the Raiders as San Luis goes on to win 17-4. Both teams will meet again tomorrow in San Luis. And staying on the campus of Cibola High School, the latest edition of the YUHSD Championship meet will not only determine the program and the individual athletes to win their respective city titles, but also places for upcoming state title meets are also on the line. And when the dust cleared, it was Gila Ridge, the Hawks, that took the meet in total points in both the girls and boys categories. Meanwhile, Cibola and Kofa placed second and third, while San Luis and Yuma round out the final 2 overall spots in the girls and boys tallies. Some other scores to pass along in the NBA. The Suns got by the Bucks 128-127 in overtime. In hockey, the Coyotes fell to the Wild 5-2. In baseball, the Dodgers trail the Mariners 4-3. Plus, the Brewers down the Padres tonight 3-1.